Hey guys, how do you feel about sales? Is this something that frightens you? Is it something that you feel confident about? Is it something that makes you a little bit nervous every time you think about presenting your sale, your offer to a potential customer, to a potential client? Like you getting to the point where you're more confident, more brave when you're presenting your sale offer, I guarantee will increase your offers, increase your sales like crazy. Now, for those that are trying to increase your offer, you might say, "Listen, I'm trying to go up from 1,000 to 2,000, from 5,000 to 10,000." Sometimes it's within the value, but other times it's within your confidence. It's within your approach. I just made a post on my page. Y'all check it out. From this amazing book by one of my author friends. He wrote this book called Exactly What to Say. Dope, dope book. Telling you the right words to penetrate right through the subconscious mind to these potential customers, to these potential clients that you're trying to work with. Many times we're saying the wrong things and it's literally canceling that sale out right before we even start. But if you can tap in and learn a new sales approach, you will go and your business will go to the next level. Got a dope brother coming on. He's going to be able to help us learn some new sales techniques and strategy mindset where it needs to be in order to take this thing to the next level. Because I'm pretty sure that every single person watching is trying to elevate, trying to go to the next level. So you definitely want to tap into this conversation. All right, bro. I invited you. Sometimes it takes a while. Hopefully it comes on. There you go. What's going on,
What's going
bro?
on? What's going on?
Hey, bro, I'm excited for this conversation, man. I've been watching you from afar, admiring your work, bro. So kudos, man.
That's amazing, man. I'm honored, man. I'm honored that you would even ask me to jump on, man. I'm excited. Let's give the people a ton of value.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So for those that don't know, that might be a part of my community, tell them who you are and exactly what you do.
Yes, sir. So my name is Damon Dillard. I am called the Elevated Income Coach. I do high income sales. I help people make more money in less time. And even though that sounds absolutely crazy, that's what I was able to do. So I can only teach the principles and the skills that I learned to completely change my life. So we also own an insurance agency. It's TDT Financial. And I have a coaching firm that is the Elevated Income Academy. So I'm excited to help people get to their next level.
I love it. I love it. So what got you started? Like way, way, way long ago for you changed your mindset and got focused. What was it?
Desire. I mean, just like anybody else, I don't think I ever grew up thinking that I was going to be a coach, that I was going to be a mentor. Like it blows my mind to even have people in this moment saying, "Hey, you're one of my silent mentors," and I'm like, "Nah, not me. I don't want that responsibility. I'm
Yeah.
not ready for that."
Right.
But I've always had a desire to win. You know what I mean? Even as a young kid, I just wanted to be like Penny Hardaway at one
Yeah.
point. I wanted to
Yeah.
be like Allen
Oh,
Iverson.
that was the homie, bro.
Huh?
Said that was the homie back in the day.
Oh my God. Listen, man, so I grew up never being able to play organized sports. So I had to live vicariously through the friends that I went to school with, man. And I used to get on, listen, we didn't have YouTube back then. So I'm going to date myself a little bit. But I used to get on Yahoo and just look up videos of like Penny Hardaway. And I
Hmm.
remember recording the commercials with little Penny because he would make moves every once in a while. I
Yeah.
would mimic those in the driveway. And I think it was those same principles that I've been able to take over the years and just
Hmm.
simply model successful people. And
Got
I've
it.
always had a desire to be better, man. So that's kind of how we got here in a nutshell.
Absolutely. Now, take us through your view on the importance of mentorship.
Mentorship is everything. To me, I believe you only learn in life one of two ways. You can learn through mistakes or you can learn through mentors. In other words, you either learn through pain or you learn through people. So mentorship is the shortcut.
Hmm.
I'm not a very, very religious person. I'm a very spiritual person. I believe that when God wants to change something in your life, he doesn't call you on the phone. He doesn't come
Hmm.
over as an audible voice in the clouds.
Yeah.
He just
Hmm.
simply sends you a person. And
Yeah.
our discernment and listening to that person and adhering that person that will lead us one of two places, either to poverty or to prosperity. And it just so happened for me, I was able to have an example of what life could look like, and that became my mentor. However, I will add a caveat to that. You see a lot of online mentors right now, but there's a huge difference between mentorship and coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that coaching is when somebody in a specific field of endeavor has won at a really high level and they can give you tactics, they can give you strategies, they can give you techniques to win in that same industry. But see, mentorship is something totally different. Mentorship is when someone is pouring their life example into you. So now I can see, based on their integrity, based on their character, based on the way that they treat their family or their wife or the people around them, their humility, I'm able to see their life's example. And a lot of that is caught and not necessarily taught. The other thing is mentees do not choose their mentor. So I apologize to everybody who's watching this right now or is going to watch the replay. I don't do well with people reaching out and saying, hey, can you be my mentor? Because the mentor chooses the mentee. How is that? The mentee raises their hand by their actions and they say, I'm ready for mentorship. So for me, mentorship has been the one thing, if I can look to all other things, that has completely changed my life.
Yeah, and that's a really dope point that you made. And I think that for everybody that's listening, is really having that shift in mindset to understand that, yes, I want to do better, but let me take the pressure off of myself and stop trying to do it all alone. Because we kind of get into this whole thing of force with our willpower, like, all right, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to force it. And the more that you do that, nothing happens. I just got done watching with the wife last night, bro. Self-Made, the story about Madam C.J. Walker.
Okay.
And it was that point in the docuseries that she was trying to get Booker T. Washington to sign off on her product, but she kept forcing it. She had this big old dope event at her house. She was going to host them. He never showed up. She showed up to the event that he was speaking at. She barged the stage and tried to force it. He pulled her later behind the scenes and said, listen, don't do nothing like that no more. Like, I'm not interested in your product like that. So it's like, we got to stop forcing it and realizing that some people's not going to line, and that's okay. Yeah. But let's head towards the individuals that we know that we're talking to. For those coaches, those mentors, those consultants out there listening, get into the mind frame that you are going to show up in an authentic way. And the people that are listening to you, that feel your vibe, they're going to want to work with you. Would you agree with that, bro?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean, you're speaking of something called a law, right? It's a law of least resistance. If you look at anything in the universe, if you look at anything that God has created, there is no resistance in growth. The trees never had resistance in growing, right? I never had to look at the grass and the grass is now going to mentorship classes and signing up for coaching programs and just grow. No, it's going to grow. It's going to grow within its time. So, you know, one of the biggest ways to avoid the destiny that's meant for you is to force it. Because when you're forcing it, essentially what you're putting out into the universe is, it's not mine. But in all actuality, in order to receive anything, you have to first become that thing.
Wow.
I was having a conversation with a group of 24 young men the other day, and I gave them a play. They were like, yo, how do I make $1 million? And I said, listen, making money is easy. I'm going to give you a play on making $1 million. So I told the young man exactly how to do it. And at the end, I told him a principle. And I said, but listen, you'll never get the $1 million until first you become a millionaire. And they were looking at me like, what? Like, what do you mean? Listen, in order for an apple tree to produce apples, what does it have to do? First, it has to be an apple tree.
Yep, facts.
So people ask, well, Damon, how did you get here? Like, listen, the same way I got here is how you got to where you are, we became that. Yeah. But what people end up making the mistake in is they want to have the things without being the person first. It's not have, do, be. Oh, because I have the money, now I'm going to do the activity to become the person. No. First, I have to become the person. Well, Damon, how do I become the person? Well, the only way to become the person is by doing the activity. Well, what are you talking about? Yeah, it's reconditioning my mindset to start believing that I'm worthy of the things that I want to have. Yep. And that process takes time, but it doesn't take a lot of time. Right. It's just simply knowing the principles and putting into application every single day.
Absolutely, yeah. And knowing those principles, that's that key that the mentor can really help you with. Because when I started working with Myron Golden, like, it blew my mind. And he first asked me, him and his brother Jeff, well, Manny, how many books are you reading? I said, well, what do you mean? Like, I've read books before, but we talking about right now, not many. He said, how do you expect to be successful without reading all kind of books? I said, wow. Never really thought about that, but that was $1 million worth of game just right there
100%.
With the book reading. with reshaping my mind till I really ended up creating my own construct around this. Is like we have to create this avatar of who we want to become. It's not just you wishing and hoping that you're going to become this person that you've never seen. You got to become acquainted with this person. So what I did, Damon, I literally created this Manny Hall that drove a certain type of car, had a certain type of mindset, worked on his health every single day. And it was no longer like me trying to work out to have this dope summer body or spring body to be able to go to the beach and show my wife, look at my abs temporarily because I'm about to eat a whole bunch of crazy food next week after this is over. But it's like really changing who I was. Once I got a glimpse of that person, I start thinking about them more. I start meditating on this person. And then lo and behold, they start giving me game. It sounds weird, y'all. It sounds weird. But that person, that future Manny, started giving me the game and saying, here's the blueprint. Yeah. Now just work backwards. Reverse engineer this process. You can get exactly what I got.
Yes, come on. Come on, man. I mean, we're talking about another law. What they gave you when they said start reading more books is called Newton's Law. An object in motion will continue in that motion until affected by an outside force or object.
Yes.
So what does that mean? Well, at the end of the day, I'm going to continue to think the way that I'm thinking and creating the results I have, unless there's an outside force that changes that. Well, guess what? I can't change. For everybody in here that's on here, hey, I want to make more money, Damon. I want to make more money, Manny. Help me make more money. Well, guess what? You can't change the results that you have in your life right now with the same thinking that created them. So until I change something about the way that I'm thinking, my results will not change. So one of the greatest things that you could ever do is to continue to get knowledge. Why? Because knowledge is going to create awareness. And when you're aware of who you are and whose you are, you realize that your potential is endless. Now, the second thing that you said that I want to touch on is creating the you. Listen, without a vision, people perish. Not die, but to lack restraint. So now when I have a vision of what my future is going to look like, guess what? I'm going to know what's for and what's not for me. I'm going to know what associations are for and not for me. I'm going to know what books to read and not read. I had a meeting at 10 a.m. Listen, I know that that meeting is congruent with the person that I'm becoming, not the person I was. And when you start making decisions like that, now it puts you in alignment with the vision of the person you saw yourself to be. So the first thing I ask anybody whenever I'm mentoring them, coaching them, whatever the case may be, is what do you want? Like, not necessarily what do you think your parents wanted for you? What did your original coach want for you? What does society say that you can have? No, like authentically speaking, what do you want? And do you know in the Science of Getting Rich, it says one of the most laborious things.
Bro, you hip to that?
Come on now.
Oh, man, you my guy.
Listen, man, we didn't get here by osmosis, my brother. We had to read some things, right? Listen, I'll give anybody the game right now. Science of Getting Rich, chapters 4, chapter 7, and chapter 14. That's all. I don't read a lot of books, Manny. I'll be honest. But I will study the principles. Yeah. But what it says in there is the most laborious thing for a man or woman to do is to think. Think about that. Yeah. Watch this. Your mentor, right? A similar silent mentor to me. I hear him say it all the time. Listen, you want to make less money, work harder. Which is very counterintuitive to what we've been taught, right? The harder you work, the more money. No, that's not true. He said, you want to make less money, work harder. Why? Because the most laborious thing for us to do, listen to that, laborious, meaning hard. No. Hard is not what we're physically doing with our muscles. The hard part for human beings is to think. So when I realized that, I said, okay, let me start disciplining my mind. So I could go on and on about that, man. But
you know what, man, Damon, like what you're saying
changed my life.
Bro, what you're saying is real because after listening, let me back up. The end of 21, I got hip to the Science of Getting Rich. He said within the book, he said, don't even read no other books right now during this time that you reading this book because you gonna be thrown off. And I was like, man, who did this cat think he is telling me not to read no other books while I'm reading his book? But he was explaining and said, listen, I'm trying to change your mindset about wealth, about who you are. And you can't be having some of this other garbage infiltrating your mind. And this is us, y'all. Like you end up listening to them, you subscribing to everything he doing, right? but then you also are peeking at other coaches, talking some talk that is totally different than the way he's trying to teach you. And you can say, well, no, I can listen to anybody, but guess what? Now your mind is all confused, and now you got information overload. You don't know which direction to head. So now he done taught you to build a program like this. I'm teaching you to do this, but then somebody else saying, well, no, don't post on Instagram at all. Post on TikTok, that's all you got to do. And then you just read a couple books, put the program out there. Even if it's sloppy, you're going to make $1 million. It's not going to work like that. After I read the book, bro, I ended up learning that he got this other book called The Science of Getting Well. The Science of Being Great. And I was like, shoot. So this is all a mindset. It's all principles put together for us to win. But here's the thing. Personal development is right there at the heart of it.
Yep. Personal self-development. Man, I mean, you said it best. Like, so much there. I was going to touch on something you just said about listening to more than one person.
Yeah.
Listen, if you go through your timeline, there's 1 million different people telling you 1 million different things. Now, the one thing that I measure it up against is the word of God, first and foremost. But the one principle in this that will completely change your life, I want everybody to put this in the chat. Who do you listen to? Number one, in my opinion, the number one reason why most people fail in business or entrepreneurship or any area that's relevant in their lives is because of who they listen to.
Wow.
I believe in every single season of our lives, we can point back to either who we were listening to or who we were not listening to. In other words, who were we honoring the word of, or who were we dishonoring, to point back to a season of wealth or frustration.
Wow.
And we're not just talking about money here. So the problem I had when I was broke as a joke was who I was listening to. Manny, do you want to know who I was listening to, man?
Who was it, bro?
I was listening to me. I was listening to what felt good to me.
Wow.
I was listening to what made sense to me. But here's the ironic thing. I was broke, but I was listening to a broke person. Me! Right?
Crazy.
So the problem most people have as to why they won't listen to that source that has the thing they want is called humility. And I believe that humility is not a personality trait. It's just simply recognizing that you don't have something. See, when I recognize, okay, I don't have the results in my life that I want to have. I don't have the money in the bank account that I want to have right now. I don't have the relationship. I don't have the body. I don't have the health. I don't have any of these things. One of the best things that I could have ever done was to start listening to the person that was creating that result. Because guess what? There's something they know that I don't. Now, where the rubber meets the road is in principle number 2. How coachable and teachable are you? Because everybody on this live right now, they're willing to get this information, right? If they're listening right now and they're putting in the comments, hey, they've already proven themselves worthy of wanting to learn. Anybody can do that.
Yeah.
But where the rubber meets the road, Manny, and you and I both know this very well, is what is your willingness to change? Yeah. And the only thing, which you already know from Myron, the only thing that is the one thing that will change their life is them doing the activity that they resist so much.
Yeah.
And so one day, somebody put the word decide in the chat. Somebody put the word decide in the chat. So one day it came down for me where I looked around and I said, yo, my life is not showing evidence of this potential people keep saying I have. Like, I'm looking around. I don't have any money in my bank account. I'm driving a 92 Saturn. I'm 2 months past due on my rent. I'm about to be evicted from my home. I'm 3 months past due on my utilities. Those are about to be cut off. My relationships are in shambles. There's something I'm missing. And so I had to make a decision. Most people avoid that one simple fact. When they look at the word decide does not leave any other opportunity. It rhymes with similar words that cut off any other opportunity. Homicide, genocide, suicide. There are no other options after that. So many people think they've made a decision to change, but if you're still doing the same activities that aren't congruent with your dream, your goal, your vision, no, you're interested in your result. You're not committed to it. Well, Damon, what's the difference? Well, interest means you're going to do what's convenient to you. Committed means that you're going to do whatever it takes. Manny, when I was ready to do whatever it took, man, there were no negotiables. I was going to drive 2.5 to 6 hours every single day to see my clients. I was going to work 12 to 14 hours a day to get the information. I was going to pay the mentors and coaches whatever they asked for to get the information. I remember my mentor asked me, he said, listen, I need you to come down to Houston, Texas. I said, when? He said, this weekend. I said, what? Wow. He said, yeah, I need you to be here this weekend. Done.
Wow.
And I have no money, Manny. Bro, like what?
Right.
But it's amazing what happens when you make a decision. There's almost like this, I don't know, internal barometer in your mind that just completely opens up with possibilities.
Yeah.
And then the things that were staring you in the face that whole time, you end up seeing. And now 7 years later, I get a chance to be on Manny's podcast talking about what happened, right? But the difference is people want this result, but they're not willing to do what I did.
Yeah.
They want to measure up, the shiny object syndrome, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I want to have a page like Damon's. I want to have a page like Manny's. I want to be okay, but are you willing to just sit back and read? Are you willing to discipline your mind? Are you willing to wake up at 5 a.m. every day and do the same monotonous routine to start establishing the small momentum you need to be successful? Because if not, then you've already proven that you are perfect. Damon, what do you mean I'm perfect? You've proven that you are perfect for the lifestyle you currently enjoy. Well, I don't want this lifestyle. Well, then change.
Hey, yo, I don't know if we should be passing the offering plate, if we should just shut this down and switch locations and have like a Sunday service that Kanye used to have. Bro, but you giving them the game, man. You giving them the straight up game. And you're so right about that work, that it's not the fun part, and that's why people keep running away from it. So you see all these shiny objects all over Instagram. Yeah. People are taking trips. People are buying new Lambos. People are doing this. And you're like, man, when the heck is my time coming? Yeah. But again, to Damon's point, you have decided and said that my life is perfect just the way it is. I don't want any more. I'm not willing to do nothing else for it. So I'm going to just stay right here with my comfortable life, my comfortable, broke, miserable, heartache life. Because here's the truth. Many times when you broke, you also got bad relationships. Many times when you broke and got bad relationships, you also got a bad mindset. So then your friends are also these same people that are broke. Your friendships are also these same people that's not trying to go to the next level. They're not encouraging you to read. They're not encouraging you to listen to affirmations and see yourself different. They saying we might as well stay at this 9-to-5 job and make $35,000 a year for the rest of our lives. And if we ever get to 40, then we the bomb. Then we going to Red Lobster every single weekend.
Yeah. And that's what's holding you back. That very idea that the people around you will stop loving you if you change. One of the greatest human needs that we have is the need for acceptance and the need for love. And so typically people resist a loss of love, and that's what holds them back. Wow. And I remember my mentor telling me, he said, listen, Damon, you're going to have a season of separation. He said, at some point or another, the people around you are not going to necessarily be, once again, conducive to the person you're becoming. Why? Because they're not going to say the things to you that are congruent with who you truly are. Wow. Damon, what do you mean? Listen, there may be the reality of your life right now. The reality may prove. Am I getting echo? Are we good?
No, we good.
We're good. The reality may show that there's nothing in your bank account right now. The reality may show that you're not producing the results you necessarily believe is possible for you. That's the reality. But the truth, in my opinion, is only what the Word of God says about you. So the minute that I started to understand, you know what? When I start using these principles, as a man believes in his heart, so is he. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Mark 11:24. Hey, when I stand praying, believe that I've already received it. ED, meaning it's already done.
Thanks.
It will be mine. Okay, when I start applying these principles, everything changed. You want to know the first principle I applied? Habakkuk 2:2. Write the vision, make it plain, so that he that sees it will run. Manny, every single day, here's my book. Every single day, morning and night. I write down my vision. I got so many journals. Here's my journal, Manny, from 2016 when I really earned the relationship that I have right now with my mentor. He told me, he said, Damon, one of the first things I want you to do, this thing is falling apart, man. It's had a lot of
I
runs.
love it. Man, you writing, bro.
One of the first things he told me to do, he said, listen, I want you to write down 100 desires.
Wow.
Why? Because it's a principle. God will give me the desires of my heart. The problem is a lot of people don't know how to take a desire from their mind or the paper to put it into their heart.
Facts.
And that's what we teach on.
Man, that's so good. That's so good. Now, when you were working with your mentor first early on, was it a scary process you starting to see yourself evolve and go to this next level?
Listen, most people contact me and they're like, listen, I'm frustrated. Damon, I'm struggling. Here's one that you probably hear a lot. I feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Is there anybody in the chat right now that feels that way? Here's what I would say back to you. Congratulations! Yes! Yes! Because guess what? That is evidence that you are growing.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, Damon, what do you mean by that? Listen, it's so funny that we don't resist that feeling of aching when we come out of the gym. Matter of fact, I go to the gym every single day. And unless my body is aching the next day, I actually feel that I didn't do a sufficient amount of work in the gym.
Wow. Hope y'all hearing that.
But in our regular lives, we seem to resist the feeling of discomfort. Listen, you go into your next level, no one ever said it would be comfortable. Matter of fact, it's quite the opposite. It must be uncomfortable. Why? Because your mind's only goal, its only gift, its only desire is to keep you safe.
Yeah, that's it.
Which means, okay, well, wow. Okay, well, that means, Damon, based on my current conditioning, i.e., based on my environment, based on the authority figures in my life, based on the repetitious information I've been getting, based on all of that, what that means is that if I see something at any point in time, if I learn something at any point in time that's not already in my mind, if it's not recognizable, my mind's immediate reaction is, that's not for you.
It's so crazy how that works. It's so crazy how that works, bro, because, and I teach a principle really, really similar to that says fear is not always your enemy, because it's literally just trying to get you back to a place of safety. You're trying to embark upon this area, this territory that you've never known, and the fear is saying, hey, let's go back. We ain't never been there before. It's scary there. We ain't never met nobody there. None of our friends are there. Let's go back to safety. So to your point, right, that subconscious mind programming is right there saying, we don't do stuff like that. We don't take risks and get uncomfortable. We always play it safe. Like, we just watch TV all day long. What do you mean that you about to start this business? What do you mean you about to hire this mentor? You about to take a risk with your finances? No, we about to use that money to go get some new red bottoms. We about to go get that new purse that's going to sit in our closet the majority of the year, but we're going to bring it out one time for that one event so we can stun on everybody and put it back in the closet.
Yeah. Well, the scary...
Go ahead, Dan.
My bad. Well, the scary thing is we value things more than we do ourselves.
Facts.
Like, what's the return on that investment? I wear those Louboutins one time.
Yeah.
To impress the people that don't even care about me in the first place. Listen, what's crazy is, like, we're avoiding the very thing, again, that will lead us to our result that we want. Fear. Fear was never, ever. Who said fear was a bad thing? Listen, I want my dog to be afraid. I don't have one, but if I had a dog, I would want him to feel fear. Why? Because when he feels fear, if you look at the definition, it is a real and present danger. Which means I wake up in the middle of the night, there's a bear in my room. Guess what? I want to feel fear. Because if I feel fear, what will that cause me to do? Take action. What people are feeling is not fear. Manny, you know this. What they're feeling is anxiety. And that anxiety causes them to do what? Freeze. They don't move. The anxiety is only a result of them doubting, i.e., which is a belief, them doubting whatever future result they want. So what I had to start getting comfortable with was the fact that, you know what? That fear is a great thing. I believe that you and I are exactly the same. So when something is uncomfortable, all we simply do that's different from anybody else is we lean into it. We say, oh, I don't like that. I'm fearful. Bet. Because that's the very thing that's going to get me to my next level every single time.
And it's right there. It's literally right there. And it's like, no, I don't want to do that. So listen, and you're going back to that point about like reading and studying, even working out. So when I made a decision and said, okay, I'm about to walk into this new Manny, I realized that there were some things that I had to change about me. And there was going to take some discipline, some heartache. There was going to be some separation, some uncomfortability. So to your point about waking up early, I had to wake up early. Sometimes I would wake up in the beginning of the day and be like, what the hell am I doing? Just waking up early. I'm tired. This was stupid. What am I doing?
Yeah.
But then as God started ministering to me, saying, listen, just stay the course. It might not make any sense right now, but you're going to start showing the fruit real quick.
Yeah.
To your point about the apple tree. The apple tree doesn't trip because in the first month, there's no apple showing.
Thanks.
Come on, y'all. Like, let's get into the mindset that we start to respect the process. When I started becoming this different person, going to the gym every day, I didn't want to be there. I started seeing people with way better muscles, way better arms, legs, all that. I'm like, dang, look at me. I'm just this scrawny little dude with a big old beer belly. At that, don't even drink beer. Damn, how I have a beer belly without drinking beer, bro? It was just sticking out there like crazy. And I made this decision to say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to stay committed. Yeah. Then it got to the point that the cats at the gym that was always getting it in, they start respecting me like, hey, bro, you getting it in, man. You ain't playing. I was like, no, because I'm focused. They saw something different on me. And when they saw something different, it literally started to make me start to see myself differently. Yeah. There's a great book called Psycho-Cybernetics. To those that ain't never read that, Psycho-Cybernetics.
Wallace D. Wattles.
Oh, my. Amazing book, bro.
My bad. Maxwell Maltz.
Maxwell Maltz, yeah. Wallace Wattles is Science of
Getting Rich.
Yeah. When you start to see yourself a different way, you automatically start to walk towards that. Because if you see yourself right now as this broke person that can't get any sales, then that's how you're approaching every situation. Every time you start to talk to a potential client, in the back of your head, I ain't going to get this sale. It's not happening today. They don't really like me that much. But if you go into it saying, I'm going to make this offer, if they're the person that's going to line up with me, great. Because at the end of the day, we're not trying to find leads, y'all. Let's get our minds out of that. We're not trying to find leads. You need to become findable. Now, the only way that I believe that has worked for me and my clients to become more findable is to become more attractable. When you are more attractive, people naturally gravitate towards you. I'm going to tell you, I don't know why this is, Damon. Maybe you can explain it to me. The minute I started eating better, drinking more water consistently, working on my body, man, I started getting more clients, bro.
Come on. You want to know why?
Why is that, bro?
You just said it. Because now people can only see you the way you see yourself.
Wow.
Period. So when you become a person of value, listen, people are drawn to the light. Naturally, as a human being, you are drawn to the light. What does that mean, Damon, the light? That means you're drawn to the original essence of who you were created to be. Why do you think we watch Superstars so much? Why do you think we put our lives on hold to watch a man play a game? Because he's showing his light, and we love it. Why do you think we pay all these thousands of dollars to go to concerts and comedy shows? Because these people are in their area of gifting, expressing it in the biggest way. We pay millions of dollars for that. Why? Not because that person is so great, but for that moment of time, it reminds us of who we could be. And we don't even realize it. We're celebrating LeBron not because of his greatness, but because there's greatness in us. Yeah. And we're like, yo, that's incredible. But what we don't realize, oh man, hold on. I'm a human being. He's a human being. He was gifted to bounce a ball. The question is, what were you gifted to do? And so we worry about money because we've never given ourselves the opportunity to answer that question. What do you do? Man, you said, why are people attracted to you? Because you're clear on what you do. That's it. So now people know what to come to you for. Yep. A lot of people don't know what their name is synonymous with. Thus, we don't know what to come to you for. So you're not getting sales because we don't know who you are. But we don't know who you are because you don't know who you are.
Man, bro, listen, I can only imagine if I had this real dope studio like Social Proof Podcast, we'll be getting it in. I'll probably be giving you that, all kind of stuff right there in person. But listen, yo, get in this game, man. Listen, this is not a ploy for us to try to generate more sales. Our bills is going to be taken care of every single day. Like, I got an affirmation I say every day that all my bills are paid with wonderful ease. So I know that going into every single day, that I will never have to worry about bills. I will never have to live in lack. But the point that we're trying to impress upon you is you could be living your best life. What would happen if you decided today that I'm going to change? What would happen? Now, you can say, well, man, I'm not ready to make that decision. But you've already made a decision because you just decided I'm not going forward. So with or without my participation, with or without my permission, I have told you that you can make a decision. And you've made your decision already. Whether you're moving forward or whether you're staying right there. Staying right there will only give you more of what you're already getting. If you never change your mindset about wealth, then you probably would never believe that you are wealthy. Here's something that I read in a book. Donald Trump will never be able to be comfortable being a millionaire. He's only comfortable with being a billionaire because this is what his mindset is programmed to say about who he is. Where are you at? Are you only comfortable with making 50,000? Are you only comfortable with waiting for that next government check? And you're probably a little salty that we ain't been getting no more stimulus checks. Like, where are you right now in your wealth journey? If you start to see yourself as a millionaire, a potential billionaire, then guess what? You will literally start to exemplify those characteristics and behaviors is going to naturally get you there. Without the force, without all the hard work, without doing all the stuff. Listen, I've gotten to the point, y'all, where I'm probably working about 10 hours a week. Way less than I ever worked. And the only reason it's at 10 is because other than me working with my clients, I'm working with my mastermind group on Wednesdays. And then I'm meeting with my team to make sure that they are cool on the infrastructure and the tasks that they need to implement. That's it, about 10 hours a week. There was a time when I was working 60 hours a week when I was more stressed, more depressed, more anxious and worried about bills. But now I'm working less, making more money and more happier, y'all. Come on, y'all. Where they do that at? It's really tapping into something different. Dave, can you please tell them how easy it really is to get wealth?
Yeah, it's a decision. Like I said before, like when I learned the principle of it's a lot easier to make a lot of money in a short amount of time than it is to make a little bit of money over a long period of time, I just wanted to know how. And that's most people's question is how. But just like anything else I talked about earlier, there are laws behind building wealth. So once you learn the law of compensation, you start to use it in your favor and you become a person of value. You find out what it is that you were gifted to do, and then you give it away freely. And that's the part that's difficult for some people. They're like, hold on, wait a minute. I'm asking you to get, how do I make money, Damon? And then I go, well, this is what you want to do. Find out your gift and give it away for free. Listen, man, I've been doing videos since 2014. Wow. I was blessed enough to realize that, quote unquote, I had a gift of gab since I was like 3. But then developing that skill, learning how to communicate, learning how to ask effective questions, learning how to care about people, learning how to love people. All of that is an internal job because you can only do to others as you do to yourself. So if you don't even love you, it's going to be very, very difficult to exemplify that quality to other people. So through this process, listen, you said it earlier, it's a process. From 2014 to the current day, I am still consistently working on myself. Because I was at a point and we're going down a different path here, but in the beginning, the reason why I wasn't making money is because I've always been talented, but my talent would get me somewhere where my character would not keep me.
Wow.
Well, Damon, what do you mean character? One of the hardest things for me to ever do in my life was to be talented. Why? Because when you're crazy talented, you don't have to show up. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen, I can show up the day of the test and get an A. Why? Because I was talented. I can show up to the interview, blow them away. Why? Because I was talented. But do you know what most talented people lack because they're so freaking talented? Discipline. And the disciplined people will always win over a talented person. So when I started to develop disciplines, and watch this, if you don't learn to discipline yourself, you will work for somebody that disciplined themselves. Period.
Facts.
And that's the hardest thing about being an entrepreneur, because there's nobody there to discipline me.
No.
So if you want to choose your income, if you want to be able to dictate your wealth, if you want to start buying your time back, you've got to learn these small, easy principles that will create the biggest change in your life. Yeah. And the number one thing is discipline. Why? Because discipline is the ability to give yourself a command and immediately follow through on it. So guess what? Every single time you give yourself a command and you don't follow through on it, guess what? You are lying to yourself, which means now you lack integrity with yourself. So now when you go up to Manny and say, Manny, I'm ready to leave my $50,000 a year job and I want to make $50,000 a month, guess what happens? Your mind says you're full of it. Why? Because you told yourself you was going to go to the gym last week and you didn't. You told yourself that you was going to get up at 5 a.m. every morning and you didn't. And then you wonder why I'm such a procrastinator. No, you just ain't got no confidence. Why? Because you don't keep the promises you make to yourself.
I don't know what to say, bro. I feel like this conversation is the type that if they are truly listening, they can literally make $50,000 in a day, bro. Like, if y'all apply just a little bit of these principles, because what you're saying is I was that same person. I don't know why I always had the gift of gab. I don't know why I was really good at writing, like taking science tests and stuff like that. I wasn't good at it all. Math wasn't good. But there are certain areas of my life that I just had this raw talent that I was just like, I got it. I can show up late. Like I used to run track and I did cross country as well. I would show up to the meet. Everybody else practicing hard that week. I just did the bare minimum and was just crushing people. Yeah. And then the coach told me a long time ago, he said, man, I can only imagine where you would be if you was disciplined. And I was like, man, yeah, okay, well, I don't need the discipline. Look how raw I am right now without being disciplined. Yeah. But as I've gotten older, when you start talking about wealth, that was really my problem in the beginning, why I wasn't getting a whole lot of money, wasn't getting a lot of clients. Why it took me so long to even hit 100K in 1 year was because I wasn't disciplined. I felt like I can just show up to meetings. I would give some great game. They would take notes. And the client once asked me, said, you know, are you taking notes or am I taking notes? I said, well, I would love for you to take notes because, you know, you need to get this information. But at the same time, it was part of my responsibility as a coach to be able to at least know where we are on the call. Yes. But that wasn't an area that I was accustomed to being disciplined. Yes. But doing things like working out, I went vegan. I'm almost vegan now 2 years. And I did that primarily for my health and to show my body, y'all. Show my body you're not in control, I am.
Yes. Yes. And you know what's crazy, man? Like what we fail to understand, and I want to encourage everybody to hone in on this point right here. You just said it so well. You said people felt or people saw. Watch this. If you're not disciplined, you think that it's destroying other people in a sense, right? It's like, oh, okay, well, people won't be able to see that I didn't skip out on waking up earlier. They didn't see that I didn't go to the gym. But listen, when you lack congruency in yourself, the smoke of battle is on everybody. Yeah. Here's how you know. Have you ever had a situation where you walked into somebody's home and you were like, ooh, y'all just got in an argument in here?
You felt it. You felt it.
You felt it. Listen, you can feel people's authenticity. So there's many times that you're not getting deals, that you're not closing clients, that you're not moving forward with the people that have the power to move you forward because they felt you before they ever heard you. Damon had to understand that, because what was happening with Damon is I could say all the quotes. I could say all the things. I could sound incredible. But because I was lacking in integrity in certain areas of my life, I wasn't advancing to the speed that I could because I wasn't a disciplined person.
Gotcha.
You wear that on your sleeve. Like, people know. Yeah. People can't trust you until they can trace you. And you can be traced very quickly. Like, what they say, Manny? Real recognize real?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
They know.
They know.
They know.
So, Dan, do you mind answering this question? They say, how to break into the business, meaning how to choose a product or service that I would offer to people. So almost like how do I choose that particular business that I should get in?
That's such a tough question for me to answer because at the end of the day, it's not about the product or service. It's really about you discovering who you are.
Yes.
So I would say that there's an acre of diamonds on any land that you're standing on. The problem that we make most of the time as human beings is we wait until we have the perfect product, service, industry to start making money or giving the effort that's necessary to create the result we want.
Yeah.
In The Science of Getting Rich, chapter number 14, it talks about leaving people with the impression of increase. What does that mean? If you're at freaking McDonald's right now, it is your responsibility, literally, to leave every person with come in early, leave late.
Yeah.
If you're responsible for the register, do the very best you can.
Yeah.
Why? Because you're automatically qualifying yourself for your next level. See, I love the story about Moses, right? Everybody knows that story. He released the Israelites. They went into, they were about to get captured by the Egyptians, right? He gets them out of there. They're running. Then they come to the Red Sea. And they get to the Red Sea. Moses is tripping out because he's like, okay, either we're going to drown or we're going to get captured by the Egyptians.
Yeah.
Right? Because the Egyptians were close behind.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can only imagine in that moment, Moses is looking up to God and he's saying, okay, why would you forsake me? Why would you have me lead these people out of captivity only for us to die by water or die by sword? And in all of God's wisdom, he says to him, Moses, what's in your hand? The same staff that delivered every other miracle that he had just done. The same staff that he lifts to the air, Red Sea parts, leads it. So I say to you this, what's in your hand? You're asking me what product or service or industry you should be a part of. What you should be asking yourself is what has already been given to me. See, we're looking for things outside of ourselves, and the very thing we really need is already within us.
Yeah.
What have you been given that you've been misusing? Start focusing on that. The path will clear the way.
And to that same point, it's many times that we have this amazing gift in our hands, but because it doesn't look like somebody else's, we don't want this one. So we like, God, if you can bless me with that gift that she got, because I like that one. That one looked real cool. But this one is not as cool. Like you just gave me this gift to be this nurturer and help kids. Like I don't want to help kids. I want to help adults.
Yeah.
But this is that thing that he gave you. This is that thing that when you use, you come alive. It becomes almost easy for you to perform. Like when we were talking about that raw talent, there are some people that have some real raw talent. This is my personal opinion, Dan. Tell me if you disagree with this one, but I believe somebody like LeBron had much more raw talent than even Michael Jordan had. Michael Jordan had talent, but he had to develop it a little bit more for him to become this unstoppable person. But once Jordan got self-discipline, nobody or nothing in the entire world could stop him. He got interviewed a couple of times and they asked Michael Jordan, how do you feel about competition? Saying, well, I really don't even pay attention to anybody else in court. I don't think anybody else can stop me. Yeah. It's that killer instinct that you know that you have without even having to press this button on the inside of you. So use that thing. I didn't want to talk all the time, y'all. I felt like every time I'd be talking to people, they say, man, you're talking too much. Maybe you stop talking. But this was a gift inside of me that I had to embrace and use. I wrote 3 books. I didn't feel like writing. I didn't want to be known as an author, but I had to walk into it. Since I've started walking into my gifts, y'all, it literally seemed like God's universe is just opening up opportunities. They were always there, but I just didn't walk into them.
Right.
I had my eyes closed because it seemed so scary, so anxious, anxiety flowing to be walking into these things. But I said, this is a gift that I got and I'm about to just use it. And I don't care who doesn't like it or who likes it. I'm not about to be swayed by the popular opinion of anybody. I got to walk into it. So now it's that time, y'all. If we start really walking into these amazing gifts that we were given, you can start doing some amazing things. Listen, my brother Damon here, he is giving y'all the game. He's giving you some instructions on how you can change your life and your business. Because at the end of the day, You can have all this great wealth and a super business, but if your mind hasn't changed about who you are, it's going to be hard for you to enjoy it. Dan, before we leave, can you talk just briefly about this whole process of getting wealth, but never changing your mindset about who you are, and how some of these people that you probably encountered, this major players on Instagram, they're still not enjoying their life because they're not happy. Can you talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, well, I love how Neil puts it, right? How you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about having balance in our lives. Listen, at the end of the day, all the things that we think we want, the material things, the cars, the homes, the possessions, the vacations, at the end of the day, there's a feeling that we think those things are going to create.
Yeah.
And that's a feeling of joy. That's a feeling of happiness. That's a feeling of peace. So I know quite a few people that are doing extremely well financially. I mean, listen, they're good, right? Financially,
Yeah.
their children's children. But peace, happiness, joy, they don't necessarily have that. So when we talk about the mindset behind it, yeah, listen, people ask me all the time, listen, do you think everybody's meant to be an entrepreneur? Yeah, I do. I absolutely do. I think we were all born entrepreneurs. But David, do you think everybody's born in leadership? Absolutely. We were all born leaders. Why? Because we were created from a creator. That's an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
We were created from one of the greatest leaders of all time.
Yeah.
We are that. The problem is, are we willing to develop? All I've done is develop my skill set. That's it. That's it. So the mindset, absolutely, man. The mindset is 99% of this gig.
Wow.
99%. Listen, I do not have any fancy degrees. I barely graduated from high school. Graduated with a 1.7 GPA.
Bro, I had 1.8.
Bro, I hated school.
It was not for me, bro.
Right? But they said formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. So what I learned is to start to get a specific set of skills. And that is mindset. I heard somebody say the other day, the book, Think and Grow Rich, everybody talks about it. He said, listen, no, I wish the title was a little bit different. I wish it was Think, exclamation point, and Grow Rich.
Right.
Right? Like, think, like, use your mind.
Yeah.
It's everything, man.
It really, really is. Any parting words before we get out of here? I want you to tell them any programs you got going on, because there's some people listening like, I got to start working with this, bro. Like, how do they get in contact with you? Give them the game.
Yep. So a couple of different ways. If you go up to where it says Manny, if there's anybody in my community that's in here right now, please go up to where it says Manny Hall and Damon P. Dillard. Click the drop down. Anything that's blue, make sure you check it. If you're not currently following my brother Manny, please make sure you're doing that right now. He has some incredible things going on. If you are not a part of my community right now, you can click on my name, follow me. I will be running a workshop next Saturday where I will be teaching on these principles and sharing the game on exactly how we did 6 figures in 6 months and how we're teaching other people to do that within 90 days or less as well. So I'm excited, man. You can go to elevatedincomeacademy.com to get a little bit more information. But I'm just here to serve. I want to see people win in an incredibly fast way, because at the end of the day, the only asset that we do not get back is time.
Yeah. All facts. All right, well, bro, thanks again for your time today. This was absolutely fantastic. It's going to be on my page. For those that want to watch it on YouTube, I'm going to create a link for YouTube. You can go watch it on there, share it with your friends and family. But listen, y'all, please tap in. Like this, we're not playing games. I'm not just doing this for my health. He's not doing this for his health. He's really trying to get another generation to the next level. And you deserve to be there. I don't care if you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, or 80, or 90. It's time to go out there and make things happen. You are a creator, just like Dame said. You were made from a creator. You were made in his image and likeness. It's time to start creating. Anything else, Dame, before we roll out?
Let's go! That's it. Take action. Let's get it, family. Man, I appreciate you, man. This has been an incredible time. I know we were only supposed to be on here for 30 minutes, but, you know, when the spirit hits you, you can't stop. I'm sure we're going to meet in person really soon as well, man.
Oh, yeah, man. We got to make that happen, bro. I mean, I feel like our stories is way too similar. Like, I haven't even met too many entrepreneurs, like, in our space around our level that have even read The Science of Getting Rich. So the fact that you said that, I said, he ain't just making that up. Like, and then you quoting the chapters, like, you know that. You know what I'm saying? So It's time for us to, man, just take things to the next level, man. I feel like you and I can benefit our audience tremendously, even probably putting some packages together.
Done. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. We're going to connect offline and put something together for the people.
For sure. All right. Well, I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace and blessings.
All right, man.